The US military is currently the most powerful force in the world. It has by far the highest military budget, which is around $700 billion per year. The US has a homegrown military-industrial complex that's able to produce cutting-edge weapon platforms. It's been at the forefront of many groundbreaking technologies when it comes to military weapons. There are many systems present in US arsenal which have no counterparts. For example, the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber. But there's one weapon that doesn't make any headlines, like the high-profile ones, but is a very important tactical asset. It's the P-8 Poseidon. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes why P-8 Poseidon will be the key for the United States when it comes to defeating Iran's submarine force. Let's get started. This video is sponsored by the free-to-play military vehicle combat game War Thunder. We talk a lot about military vehicles on this channel, but what about trying them out for yourself? In War Thunder, you can choose from more than 1,200 playable vehicles from the 1930s to the 1990s and go to battle on more than 80 theaters of war. You can fly aircraft, helicopters, drive tanks, and command ships of all types and sizes, which have been carefully recreated from their real-world counterparts. It's available as a free download on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One with cross-platform support. So grab your friends and give it a try. All viewers of Defense Updates that register using the link in the description below will also get a free premium tank or aircraft and 3 days of premium account time as a bonus. Tensions between the US and Iran have risen sharply since Donald Trump withdrew from a 2015 nuclear agreement between Iran and several world powers. Trump administration also reinstated sanctions on Tehran. Last month, in response to undisclosed Iranian threats, US moved USS Abraham Lincoln Aircraft Carrier Strike Group to the region. It also deployed B-52H Stratofortress bombers and Patriot air defense in the region. President Donald Trump also cleared the way for sending 1,500 more troops to bolster the American forces in the region. War of words has ceased to die down, with both sides continuing to hurl threats at each other. Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif stated that Iran would never start a war, but would defeat any country that attacks it. Zarif stated, "Whoever starts a war with us will not be the one who finishes it." Iran warned that it may withdraw from the deal and resume nuclear enrichment beyond purposes necessary for its peaceful nuclear program, including that it may pursue the development of nukes unless other nations in the deal can find a way to offset the impact of the stringent US sanctions. Things got worse after US and Saudi Arabia blamed Iran for last month's attack on oil tankers in a United Arab Emirates port. In any conflict with Iran, the Strait of Hormuz will play a critical role. The Strait of Hormuz is a strait between the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. It provides the only sea passage from the Persian Gulf to the open ocean. It's one of the world's most strategically important choke points. On the north coast lies Iran, and on the south coast, the United Arab Emirates and Muzandam, an exclave of Oman. At its narrowest, the strait has a width of only 21 nautical miles, or 39 kilometers. Around 33% of the world's liquefied natural gas and almost 20% of total global oil production passes through the strait, making it one of the most important sea routes. Because of its narrow width, many analysts think that it can be easily secured, and Iran will be able to inflict massive damage to any force trying to invade it through this passage. The belief has been strengthened by many studies, and Iran's naval ability, especially its capacity to defend the strait, has been acknowledged by even its rivals. In a September 11, 2008 report, the Washington Institute for the Near East Policy said that in the 2 decades since the Iraqi-imposed war on Iran, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or IRGC, has excelled in naval capabilities and is able to wage unique asymmetric warfare against larger naval forces. According to the report, the IRGC Navy has been transformed into a highly motivated, well-equipped, and well-financed force and is effectively in control of the world's oil lifeline, the Strait of Hormuz. Over the years, Iran has specifically devised strategies to hold on to the strait, and its submarine force will play a critical role in that endeavor. A major portion of Iran's military power originates from its submarine fleet, which is by far the most potent arm of its navy. Iran has put its money on submarines instead of surface ships. It has a particularly high percentage of undersea combatants when compared to the total size of its navy. Iran has around 10 operational warships, which include some corvettes and frigates, whereas it deploys around 35 submarines. These include around 20 homemade Ghadir-class and 4 North Korean Yugo-class. The most potent submarine in the fleet is the Russian Kilo-class, which displaces around 2,325 tons. Iran has 3 of these. Iran is also fielding indigenously developed Fateh-class vessels, which have a displacement of 600 tons to fit between Ghadir-class and Kilo-class. One is in active service and another is expected to be deployed soon. Some other class of sub, like Nahang, is also present in limited numbers. It's important to note that all these submarines have 533mm torpedo tubes and mine-laying capability. As reported in Iranian state media, Fateh-class vessels can even fire anti-ship cruise missiles from a submerged position. None of these subs is nuclear-powered and far less advanced than American or Russian ones that can project power around the world, but they are suitable for the purpose they're meant for. They're well served with diesel-electric propulsion, as they'll remain close to the Strait of Hormuz and the limited range won't matter. Also, being small in size, these will be able to maneuver easily in the littoral waters. Keeping all these aspects in view, it can be said that Iran's submarine force definitely poses a challenge for the American Navy. The P-8 Poseidon is developed by Boeing and is modified from the 737-800 ERX. It's capable of anti-submarine warfare, ASW, anti-surface warfare, ASUW, and shipping interdiction. It also has early warning self-protection, EWSP, ability. Powered by 2 CF M56 7B27A turbofans that are capable of generating 121 kilonewtons of thrust, it's able to reach a maximum speed of 490 knots or 907 kilometers per hour. It has a combat radius of 1,200 nautical miles or 2,222 kilometers that enables it to cover large swaths of ocean. The P-8 is equipped with radar, optical, and sonar sensors to detect submarines. It's able to drop and monitor sonobuoys, which are basically expendable sonar systems. It has 5 internal and 6 external stations for weapons and can deploy AGM-84HK, SLAM-ER, AGM-84 Harpoon, Mark 54 torpedo, missiles, mines, and SMART, as well as freefall bombs. AGM-84HK SLAM-ER, Standoff Land Attack Missile Expanded Response, is an advanced standoff precision-guided air-launched cruise missile produced by Boeing Defense. It has subsonic speed and a range of 170 miles or 270 kilometers. The AGM-84 Harpoon is an all-weather, over-the-horizon anti-ship missile system, developed and manufactured by Boeing Defense. It's a subsonic missile and has a speed in excess of 67 nautical miles or 124 kilometers. The Mark 54 lightweight torpedo is a standard 12.75-inch, 324mm anti-submarine warfare (ASW) torpedo used by the United States Navy. P-8A is the American variant, and the U.S. has received delivery of more than 90 of these, with approximately additional 30 on order. P-8 Poseidon's capability in dealing with submarines will be especially important when we take into account the Iranian battle plan. U.S. force will not need to put its surface vessels and sub to counter the Iranian submarine fleet. American Air Force is expected to quickly gain air superiority owing to its vast technological and numerical superiority. Once that's achieved, the P-8s will fly over the Strait of Hormuz unchallenged. These will be able to detect and attack the subs without facing the risk of being fired on. In a sense, we can say that P-8 Poseidon will be able to offset the geographical advantage that Iran possesses and will be able to significantly cut down chances of American losses.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.